Hi, in today's video, I'm going to answer another Academy member's question, which is, Neil, if rent to rent is so good and you make so much profit, why don't the landlords do it themselves? Out of all the questions that I get asked, this ranks number one. This is the question that I get asked more than any other question. I see this question all the time. I see it more, not so much as a question, but as an objection. A lot of people use this objection as an excuse not to do rent to rent. So let me answer the question. I'm going to give you 3 points now as to why landlords don't do this themselves. So point number one then is time. And more specifically, time poor. Most landlords are very, very time poor, and they underestimate the time it requires to look after an HMO. And you may even underestimate the time that it takes as well. Running an HMO as a rent to rent is not easy. Okay, I've got to say that straight away, because some people come in thinking this is easy, I just set it up, put tenants in, leave it, and that's that, and I make £500 to £1,000 every month. It's not true. It does take a lot of time. See, I have 2 full-time people that do this for me to look after my portfolio, because it does require time and it does require experience as well, which is the second point. Most landlords just do not have experience at this level. If you think about running an apartment as a rental, or a house, a small house, or even a big house, that's fine. Anyone can gain that level of experience. But when you come into the territory of HMOs, which is what we're talking about here, HMOs are houses of multiple occupation. You enter a whole new realm, which does require a little bit more skill. So you've got to be clued up a bit. That's why I do training courses on it, so I can teach people about the basics of house shares, because it is a bit more complex, and there are more laws involved as well. Depending on your area, you may have set laws from the council for HMOs, whether they're licensed or unlicensed. So it's important to bear that in mind. Most landlords just don't have this experience. And to get this experience, they would have to take time out of their busy jobs, usually very well-paying jobs, or their companies, to learn all this. It's not worth it. It's too much hassle. They would much rather just give you the property to manage, knowing that they're going to get the market rent they would renting it to a family anyway. They know you're getting a top up on it. They know you're making more by renting it to multiple people. But in most cases, especially my landlords, they don't care. They really don't care. All they care about is the fact that they're getting a regular income every month. It covers the mortgage and insurance and the payments and things like that, and that they don't have to deal with it. They don't have to get phone calls at night from tenants complaining and things like that. So that is the payoff for them. They haven't got the experience, they haven't got the time. So they're the first two main points why landlords do this. And point number 3, you'd be surprised at this one, but the main reason that the landlords won't do it is the hassle involved. So here's the thing, the hassle of it, the landlord does not want to deal with that, and it is hassle. If you have got a weak disposition, you've got a weak stomach, you don't want to get into doing tenants and management and HMOs, because it is a little bit difficult at times. It doesn't matter if you're doing professionals, workers, students, boutiques, companies, whatever you're doing, you're always going to have the odd bad tenant. So I'll give you an example. At the moment, from last year's student properties, we had this one person who complained from the minute she moved in. Everything was a big problem. The curtains were the wrong colour. She said they were a bit dusty. They were brand new curtains, right? So as soon as I said they were brand new curtains, she said, well, did you wash them? Because they come out the factory dusty and all this. You know, the tap was the wrong temperature. It was too hot. Then it was too cold, right? She complained about everything. So you've got to, bear in mind with people like that. Usually the best thing to do is just offer them to move out. Now that's what I do. I say, hey, it seems like you're not happy here. You're free to move out because I don't want to deal with this. And, again, this is another reason why I have property managers that deal with everything and staff, because it is, once you get to a certain level and you've got dozens of these properties, you don't want to be dealing with tenants. So I actually don't deal with any tenants at all. I'll only ever get involved from a sort of hierarchical position where I have to look at, say, a complaint. We have had one in the last 4 years, which was had to be dealt with professionally, you know, because we are, like you will be if you're doing rent to rent, part of a ombudsman type service. If you get a complaint, even if it's ridiculous, like I loved this complaint. It was the most ridiculous complaint I've ever seen. It was about a squeaky door and all this sort of stuff. And, you know, they broke the shower, but then they complained about the shower because it took, they did it just before Christmas. It was like 2 days before Christmas. What are you going to do when you need a, you know, electrician or a heating engineer or someone like that 2 days before Christmas? Nothing's going to happen for a few days. So, and most tenants will go home for the holidays anyway. But there's just a couple of things like this you've got to bear in mind. They will come up. And the landlords, they don't want to deal with this because it is a hassle. I don't mind dealing with it because, like I said, I put the structures, the systems in place so I don't have to deal with it personally. But you will have to when you first get started. Your first 6 to 8 houses, you're going to manage them yourself. You're going to make a lot of profit. Even if you make the minimum that we recommend, which is £500 per house per month, and you've got 8 houses, that's £4,000. It's a lot of profit. It's going to, you know, it's going to do you really well. It'll replace most people's income. So they are my tips, and this is the main question I get asked, and this is the reason why landlords don't do it themselves. Hey, thanks for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. You also want to click the link in the top of the description, which is going to take you to the propertycashflowacademy.com. You're also going to want to follow me on my social channels so you're kept up to date. Apart from that, I'll see you on the next video.